The red warning lights flashed across every space station and planet in the galaxy. Children hid under their beds while adults whispered prayers to their gods. The Aquan Empire was moving again, and that meant only one thing: someone was about to face the hydro weapons. Captain Lee, Hannah, sat in her small metal chair aboard the Earth ship Solstar. She was reading reports on her tablet, but the words made her stomach feel sick. The planet Kepler-7 had refused to pay taxes to the Aquan Empire last month. Yesterday, there were 12 million people living on that world. Today, there was only empty land covered in strange blue puddles. "Captain," said Lieutenant Park Jisoo, walking up to her with shaking hands. "The Council is calling all ships to the meeting point. They want every species to see what happened to Kepler-7. Hannah looked up from her tablet. Through the window of their ship, she could see hundreds of other vessels from different worlds. Some looked like giant metal fish, others were shaped like crystals that sparkled in the starlight. All of them were here for the same terrible reason. "How long until we reach the site?" Hannah asked. 2 hours, Captain. But the recordings are already coming in. The recordings showed what the Aquans had done. Their big gray ships had arrived at Kepler-7 3 days ago. The people of that planet had been brave. They had built shields around their cities and prepared their weapons. They thought they could fight back against the empire that ruled most of the galaxy. They were wrong. The Aquan ships had released small metal containers into the planet's atmosphere. Each container held about 1 cup of clear liquid that looked like water, but it was not water. When the liquid touched the ground, everything started to dissolve. Trees became soup. Buildings melted like ice cream in summer. The people, Hannah, stopped reading the report. She did not want to know what happened to the people. Dr. Kim Mingi, the ship's science officer, came to sit next to Hannah. Her face was pale, and her eyes were red from not sleeping. "I have been studying the old reports about hydro weapons," Minji said quietly. "No one really knows how they work. The Aquans have kept it secret for 300 years. All we know is that nothing survives contact with the liquid. Not metal, not rock, not any living thing." "What about protective clothing?" asked Sergeant Yoon Daeho, who was in charge of the ship's security. "Does not work," Minji replied. "The hegemony tried that 50 years ago. They made suits from the strongest materials in the galaxy. The hydro liquid went right through them like they were made of paper." Hannah looked out at all the other ships gathering around them. She recognized some of them from her studies. There was a crystalline Empire vessel that looked like a floating diamond. Next to it was a ship from the Spider Federation, all black metal, with 8 long arms sticking out. Further away, she could see the golden ships of the Merchant Guild and the red warships of the warrior clans. All of these powerful civilizations, with their strong armies and advanced technology, were here to watch and learn the same lesson that Kepler-7 had learned too late. The Aquan Empire ruled the galaxy not because they had the biggest ships or the most soldiers. They ruled because they had weapons that could not be stopped, could not be blocked, and could not be survived. "Captain," Lieutenant Park said again, "we are getting a message from the Aquan command ship. They want all the new species representatives to board their vessel for a demonstration." The word demonstration made everyone on the bridge go quiet. When the Aquans gave a demonstration, it meant they were going to show their hydro weapons to someone who had never seen them before. It was their way of making sure that new members of the Galactic Council understood exactly what would happen if they ever thought about fighting back. "Who counts as a new species representative?" Hannah asked, though she already knew the answer. "Humans, Captain. We are the newest members of the Council. They want you, Dr. Kim, and Ambassador Choi Mina, to come aboard their ship." Hannah felt her heart beating faster. She had joined the Earth Defense Force to explore space and meet new civilizations. She had never expected to face the most feared weapons in the galaxy during her first diplomatic mission. Through the ship's communication system, they could hear reports from other vessels. The captain of a hegemony cruiser was telling his crew about the last time he had seen a hydro weapon demonstration. The Spider Federation ship was broadcasting warnings to their homeworld. Even the proud warriors of the Red Clans were speaking in quiet, respectful voices about the Aquan power. "Captain," Dr. Kim said softly, "I have been reading about human biology compared to other species. Maybe we should know what we are facing. What did you find? The reports are not very detailed, but it seems like hydroweapons affect different species in different ways. They all die, but some dissolve quickly while others take longer. Some reports mention that the liquid seems to target specific types of cells or materials." The Aquan command ship was getting closer now. It was enormous, at least 10 times bigger than their vessel. Its hull was covered in condensation, and Hannah could see the special storage areas where they kept their terrible weapons. Blue lights glowed behind thick windows, and she wondered if that was where they kept the liquid that had destroyed entire worlds. Soon, she would find out. The inside of the Aquan ship felt cold and wet. Captain Lee Hannah walked through the metal hallways with Ambassador Choi Mina and Dr. Kim Minji beside her. Their footsteps echoed in the strange silence. Water dripped from the walls and ceiling, making small puddles on the floor. "Stay close together," Hannah whispered to her team. "And remember, we are here to learn, not to fight." They followed 2 Aquan guards, who looked like tall blue people with smooth skin that seemed to glow slightly. The guards had no hair, and their eyes were completely black. They moved without making any sound, which made Hannah feel nervous. The demonstration room was huge and round, with seats arranged in circles around a central platform. Representatives from dozens of different alien species were already sitting and waiting. Hannah could see the 6-armed delegates from the hegemony, their multiple hands folded respectfully in their laps. The crystal people from the Shard Empire sat perfectly still, their bodies reflecting the blue lights that filled the room. In the front row, she noticed the insect-like creatures from the hive worlds. They were clicking their mandibles together, in what she guessed was their way of showing fear. Even the proud cat-like warriors from the Feline Federation had their ears pressed flat against their heads. "Humans, sit here," one of the Aquan guards said, pointing to 3 empty seats in the middle section. As they sat down, Hannah heard whispers from the other aliens. Some were pointing at them and talking in languages she could not understand. Few seemed curious about the new species, but most looked worried, as if they felt sorry for what the humans were about to experience. The lights in the room grew dimmer, and a tall Aquan figure walked onto the central platform. This one was different from the guards. He wore what looked like a uniform made of flowing blue fabric, and when he moved, the water in the air around him seemed to dance. "I am High Commander Tidebringer," the Aquan leader announced. His voice was deep and seemed to come from all directions at once. "You are here to witness the power that maintains peace in our galaxy. You are here to understand why the Aquan Empire has kept order for 3 centuries. He gestured with one long arm, and the platform began to rise from the floor. On top of it was a clear box containing several small bottles filled with different colored liquids. Some glowed blue, others were green or purple. One bottle contained a liquid that seemed to move by itself, swirling like a tiny storm. "These are hydro weapons," Tidebringer continued. "Each bottle contains enough concentrated liquid to destroy a city. One drop can dissolve any known material. No armor can stop it. No shield can block it. No medicine can cure its effects." The alien representatives in the audience became very quiet. Hannah noticed that some of them had closed their eyes, or turned their heads away from the display. "We will begin with a simple demonstration," the High Commander said. He picked up a small plant in a metal pot and placed it next to the weapon containers. The plant had pretty yellow flowers and green leaves that looked healthy and strong. Tidebringer opened one of the bottles, containing blue liquid. Even from her seat, Hannah could smell something like ocean water mixed with cleaning chemicals. The scent made her nose tingle. but it was not unpleasant. "This is Hydro 7, our most basic formulation," he explained. Using a tool that looked like a long metal stick, he carefully took one tiny drop of the blue liquid and let it fall onto one of the plant's leaves. Hannah watched carefully, expecting to see the plant wither and die. The other aliens in the room held their breath. Some covered their eyes with their hands, tentacles, or claws. But something strange happened. Instead of dying, the plant began to grow. The leaf that had been touched by the blue liquid became greener and larger. New buds appeared on the stems, and the yellow flowers became brighter and more colorful. "Wait," Dr. Kim whispered, leaning forward in her seat. "That is not what I expected." The High Commander looked confused. He stared at the plant for several seconds, then checked the bottle in his hand. "There must be an error with this sample," he said, though his voice sounded less confident than before. He put the blue bottle down and picked up a green one instead. "This is Hydro 12, designed for maximum cellular disruption," he announced. But when he dropped the green liquid onto another part of the plant, the same thing happened. The plant grew even more, sprouting new branches and leaves. Sergeant Yoon Daeho, who had been allowed to attend as security, raised his hand. "Excuse me, Commander, but that plant looks healthier than when you started." The alien audience began to murmur among themselves. The insect creatures clicked their mandibles more rapidly. The crystal people's light grew brighter, which Hannah had learned meant they were excited or confused. Tidebringer's blue skin changed to a slightly darker shade. "Perhaps the plant sample is unusual. Let me demonstrate with actual organic tissue." He produced what looked like a piece of meat from some alien animal. When he applied the hydro liquid to the tissue, it did not dissolve or burn. Instead, it began to heal and regenerate, growing new healthy cells right before their eyes. Captain Hannah stood up slowly. "Commander, may I take a closer look at these weapons?" Every alien in the room turned to stare at her. The silence was so complete that she could hear her own heartbeat. "That would be extremely dangerous," Tidebringer replied. "No organic being has ever survived close contact with hydro compounds." But Hannah was already walking toward the platform, her curiosity stronger than her fear. "Captain Lee," Hannah stepped onto the platform while every alien in the room watched with wide eyes. The High Commander Tidebringer moved backward, his blue skin now turning a pale white color. Around the room, she could hear strange sounds, clicking, chirping, and what might have been alien prayers. "Captain, please be careful," Ambassador Choi, Mina called from her seat. Her voice was shaking. Hannah picked up the bottle of blue liquid that Tidebringer had been using. It felt warm in her hands and seemed to glow brighter when she touched it. She held it up to the light and watched the liquid move around inside like thick water. "The smell is interesting," she said to Dr. Kim. "It reminds me of something, but I cannot remember what." Dr. Kim stood up and walked closer, ignoring the gasps from the alien audience. "Let me see," she said. Hannah handed her the bottle, and Kim carefully smelled the opening. "This is very familiar. The mineral content, the way it sparkles. Captain, this smells exactly like those sports drinks we used during training on Mars." "You mean the blue ones that gave us so much energy during the long exercises?" Hannah asked. "Yes, exactly those. The ones that helped us work for 12 hours without getting tired." The High Commander's voice was getting higher with panic. "Please, step away from the weapons. Even breathing near them has killed entire crews of explorers." But Hannah was not listening. She was thinking about those long days on Mars when the human colonists had to work in difficult conditions. The blue drinks had been created by Earth scientists to help people stay strong and healthy in space. They contained special minerals and vitamins that human bodies needed. Dr. Kim, Hannah said slowly, "What if these are not weapons at all? What if they are just very strong health drinks that most alien bodies cannot handle, before anyone could?" "Stop her." Hannah brought the bottle to her lips and took a big drink. The room became completely silent. Even the air recycling system seemed to stop making noise. Every alien representative froze in place, waiting to see the human captain dissolve into liquid or fall down dead. Seconds passed, then a minute, then 2 minutes. Hannah smacked her lips and smiled. Not bad at all. A little sweet, but it has a nice fresh taste. I can feel my muscles getting stronger and my mind becoming clearer. She looked at the bottle. How much of this do you have? Our athletes back on Earth would love this stuff. The six-armed hegemony delegate made a sound like a dying whale. One of the crystal people actually cracked and had to be helped by his friends. The insect creatures fell over backward in their chairs. Dr. Kim watched her captain carefully for any signs of sickness or injury. Instead, she noticed that Hannah's skin looked healthier, and her eyes were brighter than before. Captain, how do you feel? Great, actually. Better than I have felt in months. It is like drinking pure energy. Hannah picked up the green bottle. Mind if I try this one too? No, 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 Tidebringer shouted, but it was too late. Hannah had already taken a drink from the green bottle. This one is more sour, she said, making a face. Like those lemon drinks my brother used to make when we were children. Could use some sugar, but the vitamin content feels amazing. Sergeant Yoon Daeho, who had been watching from the back of the room, walked forward. Captain, if you are not going to die, can I try some too? I have been feeling tired from the long space journey. Sure, but start with just a small sip. We do not know how much humans should drink at one time. Yoon took the blue bottle and carefully tasted the liquid. His eyes went wide with surprise. This is incredible. I feel like I could run for hours without stopping. He took another drink. It tastes like that energy drink my sister always bought from the convenience store near our apartment. The alien audience was now in complete chaos. Some were running toward the exits. Others were trying to hide under their chairs. The crystal people were flashing different colors very rapidly, which Dr. Kim remembered meant they were having some kind of emotional breakdown. Hi, Commander. Tidebringer was staring at the humans with his black eyes opened as wide as possible. His blue skin had turned almost gray. This is impossible, he whispered. In 300 years, no living thing has ever survived contact with hydrocompounds. They are the most deadly substances in the galaxy. Deadly. Hannah laughed and took another drink from the green bottle. Commander, I think there has been a big misunderstanding. These are not weapons. These are health supplements. Very good. Ones, actually. Dr. Kim was taking notes on her tablet while studying the bottles. The molecular structure is fascinating. These liquids are designed to boost cellular regeneration and provide concentrated nutrition. For most alien species, this would probably be overwhelming, like giving a strong medicine to someone who only needs a vitamin pill. But for humans, Sergeant Yoon asked, finishing the last of the blue liquid. For humans, with our particular biology, these are just really effective energy drinks. The High Commander sat down heavily on the platform. Around the room, alien representatives were calling their homeworlds with emergency communications, trying to report that the impossible had happened. The humans had drunk the galaxy's most feared weapons and asked for seconds. The news traveled faster than light across the galaxy. Within 6 hours, every planet, space station, and trading post knew the impossible truth. Humans had drunk Aquan hydro weapons like they were refreshing beverages at a party. Captain Lee. Hannah sat in her command chair aboard the Soul Star, watching the chaos unfold on her screen. Ships that had been flying toward Earth just that morning were now turning around and heading home as fast as their engines could carry them. Military fleets that had taken months to position were abandoning their posts within hours. Captain, we have 17 more surrender messages, reported Lieutenant Park Jisoo, her voice filled with amazement. The Crimson Fleet says they do not want to fight anyone crazy enough to drink liquid death. The Shadow Alliance is offering to pay us tribute if we promise not to visit their worlds. Dr. Kim Mingi looked up from her research station, where she had been studying samples of the hydroliquids. I have been running tests for the past 4 hours. These compounds are incredibly sophisticated nutritional supplements. They contain minerals and vitamins that most alien bodies cannot process safely. For them, drinking this would be like a human trying to eat pure uranium. But we can drink them safely, asked Sergeant Yoon Daeho, who was feeling more energetic than he had in years. Not just safely, they are actually good for us. The compounds seem designed to work with human cellular structure almost perfectly. Our metabolism can break down and use every element in these liquids. Ambassador Choi Mina walked onto the bridge carrying a communication tablet. Her face showed a mixture of confusion and amusement. Captain, I have been talking to representatives from 40 different species in the last 3 hours. They all want to know the same thing. How did humans develop immunity to hydro-weapons? What did you tell them? Hannah asked. The truth. That we did not develop immunity. We just have different biology. But they do not seem to understand. To them, surviving hydro-weapon contact is like surviving the heat of a star or breathing in space without a suit. The main screen flickered to life, showing a live news broadcast from the Galactic Information Network. The alien news reporter, a creature that looked like a purple tree with eyes, was speaking in excited tones. This is the most shocking development in galactic history, the reporter was saying. The human species, newest members of the Galactic Council, have demonstrated the ability to consume Aquan hydro-weapons without harm. Military experts across the galaxy are calling this the end of the Aquan era. The broadcast switched to show footage from the demonstration earlier that day. Hannah watched herself drink from the bottle while alien representatives screamed and ran for cover. It looked even more dramatic on the recording than it had felt at the time. Look at this, Lieutenant Park said, pointing to another screen showing ship movements across local space. The Aquan 3rd Battle Group is retreating from the Proxima Sector. The 5th Fleet just sent a message asking permission to withdraw from our solar system. Hannah shook her head in wonder. We have not threatened anyone. We have not fired a single weapon. All we did was drink their scary liquids. Sometimes the most powerful weapon is making your enemy afraid, Dr. Kim observed. For 300 years, the Aquans ruled through fear of their hydro-weapons. Now that fear is gone, their power is gone too. A priority message appeared on the communication system. It was from Admiral Park Jinu, back on Earth. His face filled the screen, and he looked like he had not slept in days. Captain Hannah, I need you to explain something to me, he said. I have defense ministers from 12 different worlds calling to ask if Earth wants to form military alliances. The Merchant Guild is offering us exclusive trading rights. 3 separate species have sent gifts of rare metals and asked us to please not attack them. Admiral, we have not attacked anyone, Hannah replied. I know that. You know that. But the galaxy thinks that any species capable of drinking hydro-weapons must have military technology beyond imagination. They think we are pretending to be peaceful, while secretly planning conquest. Ambassador Choi leaned toward the screen. Sir, what should we tell them? Tell them the truth, but I doubt they will believe it. In the meantime, I am sending more ships to your location. If the galaxy thinks we are dangerous, we might as well be prepared for anything. Sergeant Yoon raised his hand. Captain, I have an idea. What if we are not dangerous in the way they think, but we could be useful in other ways? What do you mean? Well, these hydro compounds are clearly valuable. The Aquans have built their entire empire around them. If we can drink them safely, maybe we can help figure out what they really are and how they can be used properly. Dr. Kim's eyes lit up with excitement. That is brilliant. Instead of being seen as a military threat, we could become the galaxy's experts on hydro technology. We could help other species understand what these compounds actually do. Through the window, Hannah could see more alien ships arriving, but now, they were keeping a respectful distance. Some were flying white flags or broadcasting peaceful intentions. The balance of power in the galaxy had shifted in a single afternoon, all because humans had different taste buds and stronger stomachs than everyone else. "Lieutenant Park," Hannah said with a smile, "prepare a message to the Galactic Council. Tell them Earth would like to discuss the future of hydrotechnology research." The age of human influence was about to begin. 1 year later, the galaxy looked completely different. Captain Lee Hannah, now promoted to Admiral, stood in the new headquarters of Human Hydro Solutions on the space station orbiting Earth. Through the massive windows, she could see ships from dozens of different worlds waiting in line to buy what had once been the most feared weapons in the galaxy. "Admiral, the morning sales report," said Director Kim Mingi, walking up with a tablet full of numbers. "We sold 3 million bottles of Hydro Blue yesterday. The Hegemony wants to buy 5 million bottles of Hydro Green for their mining operations. And the Crystal Empire just placed an order for our new Hydro Purple energy formula." Hannah smiled as she watched a group of young human athletes training in the station's gym. They were drinking glowing blue liquid while lifting weights that would normally be impossible for humans to move. The hydro compounds had not just been safe for humans. They had made them stronger, faster, and able to work longer than ever before. "Any word from the Aquan representatives?" Hannah asked. "Former High Commander Tidebringer is in Conference Room 7. He wants to discuss the new partnership agreement." It had taken 6 months for the Aquan Empire to accept their new reality. Their weapons were not weapons at all, and the species they had ruled through fear for 3 centuries was now selling those same compounds as health drinks. The proud Aquan military had become business partners with the humans they had once tried to intimidate. Hannah walked to Conference Room 7, where Tidebringer was waiting. The tall blue alien looked very different now. Instead of his flowing military uniform, he wore a simple business suit. His skin had a healthier color, and he seemed less stressed than during their first meeting. "Admiral Hannah," he said, standing up respectfully, "thank you for meeting with me. Please, just call me Hannah. We are partners now, not enemies." Tidebringer nodded. "I wanted to discuss the new production facility on Aqua Prime. Our scientists have been working with your Dr. Kim to create new formulations. We think we have developed compounds that will be safe for other species to use." "That is wonderful news. How many species can use the new formulas?" "So far, we have created safe versions for the Hegemony, the Merchant Guild, and the Feline Federation. The compounds are much weaker than the original hydro liquids, but they still provide health benefits without the dangerous side effects." Through the window, Hannah could see a news broadcast playing on screens throughout the station. The reporter was talking about the latest galactic sports competition, where human athletes had broken 12 records while drinking hydro supplements. Other species were calling it unfair, but humans argued that they were just using their natural biology to its fullest potential. "There is something else," Tidebringer continued. "Some of my people want to apologize for the centuries of fear we caused. We genuinely believed the hydro compounds were deadly weapons. Our own scientists told us they were too dangerous for any living thing to survive." "Why did you believe that?" Hannah asked. "Because they were too dangerous for us. Biology cannot handle concentrated hydro compounds any better than most other species. We created something we could not safely use ourselves, and we assumed it would kill everyone else too." Hannah thought about this for a moment. "So you built an empire based on weapons you were afraid to touch?" "Yes. We used remote delivery systems and automated dispensers. No Aquan has ever had direct contact with hydro compounds until we started working with humans." Tidebringer's voice became quieter. "We destroyed worlds with substances we never truly understood. The weight of that realization hung in the air between them. Millions of beings had died because of a misunderstanding about alien biology and chemistry. What matters now is what we do going forward, Hannah said gently. The past cannot be changed, but we can make sure the future is better. A young human technician entered the room, carrying a tray of different colored bottles. Admiral, these are the new samples from the research lab. We have created 17 different flavors of hydro compounds, including some designed specifically for alien metabolisms. Hannah picked up a bottle of golden liquid. What is this one? Hydro Gold, designed for the Spider Federation. It helps them produce stronger web materials and improves their coordination between their 8 arms. And this pink one, that is for the Crystal Empire. It helps their internal light systems work more efficiently and makes their bodies more resistant to damage. Tidebringer looked amazed. In 1 year, humans have done more useful research with hydro compounds than Aquans did in 3 centuries. That is because we were not afraid of them, Hannah replied. Fear stops learning. When you are afraid of something, you do not study it closely, or try to understand how it really works. A message appeared on the room's communication screen. It was from the Galactic Council, announcing that Earth had been chosen to host the first interspecies health and nutrition conference. Representatives from over 200 worlds wanted to learn about human discoveries in hydroscience. Admiral, the technician said excitedly, we just received an order from the warrior clans. They want to buy Hydro Red for their training programs. They heard it makes humans stronger and want to see if it works for their species too. Hannah looked out at the busy space station, at the ships from dozens of worlds, and at the humans and aliens working together in ways that would have been impossible just 1 year ago. The galaxy had learned an important lesson. Sometimes the most powerful weapon against fear is simply not being afraid. Set up the meeting, she told her staff. Let us show everyone what we can accomplish when we work together instead of being scared of each other.